Hi guys, welcome back to CodeMonk. Today we are going to see how to connect MongoDB from NodeJs by writing a simple CRUD application using Express and Mongoose. I'm going to initialize a new node project using npm init. We have initialized a new node project. Now I'm going to install Express.js. In our previous videos, we already saw how to write a simple Express.js application and access data from request. We have installed Express.js. Now I am going to create a server.js file. I'm creating a basic Express API. Yeah, we have created a basic Express.js application. Now I am going to add a root which will get the data from the user client request and insert that data into the MongoDB. v1/users. I'm using this v1 to I'm naming the API root as /API/v1/users. The v1 represent the version of the API. It is good to keep the API version. Now we will see how to connect MongoDB. I'm going to use Mongoose npm to connect MongoDB from Node.js. Here it is simple and easy to connect MongoDB from Node.js using Mongoose. I'm going to use a separate file to keep this database connection code db.js, so it will be clean. And I'm going to name this user. Mongoose.connect method will try to connect to the MongoDB server, and it will return the promise. This connect method will return the promise. So we can use then and catch methods to know whether the connection is successful or failed. Okay, that's all. Now we will import this db.js into server.js. So the database connection will be established when we start the server. And now we will test whether the server is database connection is successful or not. Database connected successfully, and our server is also running on port 3000. Next, we will define a document model and insert the data into MongoDB. And to keep the code clean, we are going to define models in a separate file. To define import Mongoose. We have to define the schema first. To define Mongoose model, you have to define the schema first. Then you have to pass that schema to the model. Model name. This model method will take two parameters. One is the model name and another one is the schema. And we have to export this model. And we have to export this model from this file so that we can access the model from server.js file. String and required. I'm going to set. I'm just setting required flag to make it mandatory. And email. Now we will import this user model into server.js. Now we have imported our user model, and we'll see how to insert a new document into the MongoDB using Mongoose. First, okay, we can insert Mongoose model has method called create. We can use this method to insert a document into MongoDB. As we saw in our previous video, we can access a request payload from body key in the request object. However, NodeJs will not populate request payload by default in the body key. We have to use body parser middleware, which is available in the Express itself. So I'm going to add that middleware. Add.use. To know more about accessing data from request, you can see my previous video about how to access data query params and request payloads from the get and post requests. Yeah, now we will have request payload in request.body. So we can pass that to create method, and this create method will return promise, so that we can use async await. There will be a chance that the database query can fail. So I'm using a try catch here. Await. Response.json and in the catch block we can if something goes wrong we can send error response with the proper error status code and the proper error message. Okay, by default the status code is 200. We can set the status using this status method. And insert the data. Yeah, now we will test it out. The database has been connected successfully and our server is running on port 3000, and I am going to use Postman to test this out. I'm going to make a post request to localhost API/v1/users, and I'm going to send a payload with the key name and we'll test it out now. Yeah, the data has been inserted successfully. So we are receiving the document returned by the create method. MongoDB will automatically add an unique ID to documents that has been inserted into MongoDB. So we can use this ID to uniquely identify and perform operations like deletion and updation on the documents. DB collections, process collection. Yeah, we have a record. Okay, yeah, we can see the document here. Okay, now we will see how to retrieve the data from MongoDB. Data. I'm defining root with get method to retrieve the data, and this user.find method will return the document that matches the criteria passed to it. This find method will be useful to retrieve the data from MongoDB, and this method will return promise, and it will be resolved with the results retrieved from the MongoDB. We will restart the server. If you want to avoid restarting the server again when you change the code, You can use nodemon to avoid manual restarts whenever you change the code. The server will be automatically restarted when you save the code. Okay, now we will test this get API. Yeah, we are receiving array of documents. We will insert one more document and test it out. You can see the documents from the collection, users collection. Okay. Now we will see how to update and delete the documents from MongoDB. I am going to define two paths responsible to update and delete our documents. One is the put method to update the document by ID. So we should be able to identify the document uniquely to update the specific document. So I'm just defining a root parameter to identify the document. This will be the dynamic part of root where we can pass the document ID. So here the method will be to update the document. We have a method called find by ID and update, and here we can pass and we can access this document ID in the root using request.params.id. And the second argument for find by ID and update is the updated data or the updated document. That data will be available in requested body. This method will, by default, return the old data. If you want to retrieve the new data, you can set this option to true. You can set this new option to true. So we'll receive the updated data. Okay. Now we will define one more route, that is to delete the specific record that matches this ID, and that method is move by ID and remove. Yeah, that's it. Now we will test these methods from Postman. We will update this document. First we will update this document and test it. Put slash document ID and the data. How to pass the new data. I'm going to update the name field of this document. From uraj to uraj v. We'll see. Yeah, the document has been updated. You can see that here. Now we will fetch the data again. Okay. Now we will see how to delete this document. Okay, now I'm going to delete this document. How to use delete method. Yeah, a document has been deleted successfully. We can check that using get method. We have only one document in our database. We can also test check that here. Have only one document. And one more topic that we are going to cover in this video is request logging. We are going to use a Morgan npm to log the requests, to log our API requests. Morgan npm. And I'm going to install Morgan. Now we will import this library, and we can use Morgan as a middleware, express middleware. Now we will see how to use it to log the request. First import the library. Morgan supports express middleware, so we can use it in app.use. Morgan, we have different formats. Morgan provides different options to print the logs in different formats. By default, for example, we have combined, common, tiny, short, dev. The combined method will print the log like this. For now, I am going to use it tiny as a logging format. And now we will see. So whenever our server receives the request, it will be logged here. We will see that. Okay, I'm going to insert document now. No document. Yeah. See, you can see the log. The request has been logged. The API path and the response status code and the time, response time. So if you retrieve the data, okay, we will make few more requests. Yeah, we can see it. Yeah, we can see the logs here for all our API calls. So Morgan will log each request that will be received by the server. That's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button for more updates.